Bunchy hunchy. I haven't mathed so much in a long time. Good morning. Samsung's reason for jack lack is proposed to be bigger battery, longer battery life. So let's see if it's actually worth it. In browsing through Reddit and other websites and Google, I didn't see a whole lot of people trying to figure out why Samsung removed the jack, other than just saying it's because of that extra 300 milliamp hours that they added to the Note 10 Plus. That's going to be the basis of comparison with that in the Note 9. Based on my own experience, I've surmised that the Note 10 Plus is going to be the more popular of the two models, just because it's the best, the better of the two models, and there's only like $150 difference. Anyways. Yes, the headphone jack is supposedly supposed to give them better or more capacity for a bigger battery, but one also must consider how much more battery efficient each version of the Qualcomm Snapdragon processors are. And I'm not even going to mess with the Exynos part, because the majority of my audience is US based anyway, and the Qualcomm is what the majority of us are going to get. We must consider a few factors. We need to consider the actual dimensions of the phone, which will influence the size of the battery that can be put in there. Now, I know that there's like motherboard size differences and a few components that are different between the Note 9 and the Note 10 Plus. I don't have access to the schematics, and that would take even like exponentially more calculations. So we're just gonna go with like dimensions of the phone. And we're also going to take into account the efficiency difference between the Snapdragon 845 that is on the Note 9 and the Snapdragon 855 that's in the Note 10 Plus. We're also going to take into account, of course, the battery size between the two, or sizes between the two phones, also the average screen on time of the Note 9, and of course I don't have that data for the Note 10 Plus yet. But we can extrapolate. When they tested these two processors, both of them running PUBG, a particularly power-demanding game, one of them, the 845, drew 3,313 milliwatts of power. The 855 drew 2,548. That is 23% less than the 845. So one could say that the Snapdragon 855 is 23% more efficient than the 845. If we just looked at screen on time here, it wouldn't serve the purpose that we're trying to figure out, which is, did removing the headphone jack, how much extra screen on time is that actually going to give you? And then it's up to you to decide whether that's worth it or not, considering all the other stuff that you get with the Note 10 Plus, and that's in the video I posted before this. Besides, given that they have two different battery sizes, finding that out is going to be particularly difficult anyway, even if I had the data on it, which I don't. The Note 10 Plus has a 4,300 milliamp hour battery, the Note 9 has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, so that's 300 milliamp hours more than the Note 9. Also, when you look at the dimensions, the Note 10 Plus is 0.9 millimeters thinner than the Note 9, but it's 0.4 millimeters taller and 0.8 millimeters wider than the Note 9. So almost a millimeter thinner, but almost half a millimeter taller and almost a full millimeter wider. So in effect, I don't know, that goes into like volume computations, and again, there's like other components in there that they probably positioned in a different way. I haven't seen the teardown of it yet, so it's kind of negligible, you know, because I don't know. In my digging around, I found that the average amount of screen time on the Note 9 was about 3.5 hours. That's rough estimate. I don't have like empirical data on that, and because usage cases are so vastly different from person to person, it's stupid hard and I just don't have data visibility on what the true average screen on time of the Note 9 is. But we're just gonna go and say it's 3.5 hours. So, doing the math, that's about 1,143 milliamp hours used per hour, or 19 milliamp hours per minute. So, if you add 300 extra milliamp hours, that gives you another 15.7 minutes of screen on time, which sounds like, okay, awesome. So instead of 3 hours and 30 minutes, we get 3 hours and 48 minutes. Fantastic. No, not worth it at all. But with the 855 processor that the Note 10 Plus is rocking, you get another 23% out of that. So, instead of 3 hours and 45 minutes, you are projected, based on these calculations, you get 4 hours and 37 minutes of screen on time. with the Note 10 Plus. This is not counting having power saving mode on all the time. I've seen some people do that. I myself have actually had power saving mode on my S10 for like over a week. And at one point I got 5 hours of screen on time. So if we're talking, like, yes please. So if higher battery life is truly the reason why Samsung decided to remove one of what is apparently y'all's favorite features, I'm not defending them for it. I think it sucks that they took it away. There's never going to be, maybe not never, but there's not soon going to be a right time where people will be okay with taking the jack away. There's always going to be someone who still uses it on a daily basis or even depends on it, like with their livelihood or something, that's not going to be happy about it. It's like the president. Never will everybody be happy with whoever gets elected, but that's political and I'm not going to touch that. But anyway, is 4 hours and 37 minutes projected, estimated, approximate screen on time, when coupled with all the other things that the Note 10 Plus brings to the table, enough for you? You know, the ones that it might be good enough for are the Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pledged $10 or more per month, and they are Christopher Caswell, Derek D, Eric Price, Ian Lewis, Jared Elder Studios, Jatinder Lal, Joe Schmo, Nick Hawks, Paul Donnelly, and Unit Omega.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
And also the Super Beamers, the ones that pledge $5 a month, and those are Colin House, Grant Stockton, Paradoxed, SolarStar81, and Stephen Cameron. And lastly but not leastly, we have the Beamers, the ones that pledge $1 per month, and they are Jamie Ives, Nicholas Clark, Roman Van Rookhuizen, Spidget, and Vincent Papineau. Stay charged and stay beaming. I have a feeling I'm a little off center. There we go. There we go. Jack lack is Samsung's reason for it. Is that? Oh, hold up. And the pre-orders that I've received, or the God, words. Yes, in doing tests where they had the PUBG is what they were running it on, just because they know that PUBG is a particularly power demanding game. During the testing of the 845 versus 855 that they did when they had two phones with one of each of the... When they tested these two processors running PUBG, a particularly power demanding game, if we just looked at screen on time here, the Note 10 Plus has 300 milliamp hours more battery capacity than the Note 9's 4 hours and 37 minutes. Extra, not extra. And again, this is on average. You know, it might not... So if greater battery life is truly the reason why Samsung decided to remove a feature that pissed off a lot of people. You know some people that it might be enough for? The Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pay. Blah.